let me know. We will get this started. About 200 of you waiting. Appreciate y'all being here with me. I think we have a very fun slate today, and I do apologize for pushing the stream back to 1:30, but with baseball lock happening like at 1:30 every single Sunday now, probably just going to do it at 1:30 now because I got to get my baseball lineups in and obviously wait for lineups to roll out, and that's hard to do during a live stream. But this is a really fun slate, I think, for DFS today. Now, there's going to be a ton of chalk. I do think a lot of the chalk does look pretty good, but Darlington does offer us a little bit of carnage, a little bit of chaos. We went over that in the preview video. I'm sure some guys are going to earn their Darlington stripes a little harder than they would like to. So things to keep in mind. Obviously, I'll answer all of your guys' questions that you may end up having. I actually built my lineups last night. I just like the way the slate kind of appeared. So I was like, I'm excited to build. So I got those in last night. FanDuel, I think, is very, very easy to get to specific lineups, and it's going to be very difficult to get different over there. That is for sure. But let me... All right, loud and clear. I forgot to get my loud and clear from Andre before I started talking, so that could have been bad. Wasn't too late today. All right, let me get to some of these donos here first. Appreciate that from CGen, as always. Says, thanks for your help. What would be the most number of DOMs you would run and who? I think you can get to 2 to 3 pretty easily. Today, this is not a situation like last week at Martinsville where we had 400 laps, and that is a large chunk of Dominator points. This week, I think you're fine with 2, but it's probably pretty easy to end up getting a 3. I mean, just off the top of my head here, the guys that I have potential to dominate this race: Kyle Larson, Tyler Reddick, Denny Hamlin, William Byron, Ryan Blaney. I think you can probably throw Chase Briscoe and Bubba Wallace in that pool. But other than that, I don't really think we have any early potential dominators. I mean, sure, like a Bell and Logano, Chase Elliott could be contenders for that. Maybe even a Ross Chastain later portion. But you're going to want 2 to 3 of these guys in your lineups. I think Ryan Blaney, I'm curious to see if I get any Ryan Blaney questions today, because I do think he's a very interesting driver to talk about, because we know he's had a rocket ship at Las Vegas. We know he's had a rocket ship at Homestead. In theory, he should have a rocket ship this weekend. We're using the same tire compound. I mean, there should be a lot of similarities for the guys that have shown speed at the intermediate tracks that we've been at so far this year to this week. But man, the track history is just pretty poor for Ryan Blaney. Personally, for me, I am playing him. I'm on Team Ryan Blaney this weekend, especially on FanDuel. He's really cheap at only $11,000. So even if he doesn't get up front and dominate, if he finishes 5th, I'd be pretty happy with that, starting in 9th place. Got another dono here from Dan Freed. Says, who's your top choice for upside on DraftKings 6K and under? Yeah, it's not too pretty once we get 6K and under this week on DraftKings. I believe projection-wise, Cole Custer is leading the way, him and Austin Hill. Now, I'm not expecting any speed out of Austin Hill. This is not like the Xfinity Series where we should expect him to go right towards the top 10. But with how far back he is starting, I'm going to assume we're probably going to get a few DNFs today. I don't know who they're going to be. I'd love to be able to tell you I knew, but I do not. But as long as it's not him, I think he could probably scrape away a top 33, a top 34. I don't really think the speed's going to be too great, though. Should be faster than JJ Yeley at the very least. And I'm pretty sure Johnny T sent a message. I looked at it last night or this morning. I'm assuming it's the top FanDuel cash plays. It's going to be the same on both sites this weekend. I think you need to start with Kyle Larson starting in 19th. He is the race favorite. He crushes these types of tracks. He was extremely fast at Las Vegas. He is extremely quick at Homestead. He's starting mid-pack. You get the place differential mixed in with the Dominator upside. That equals DFS FanDuel darling. Obviously, go on DraftKings, but that is exactly what you want over on FanDuel. I was thinking to look at Ross Chastain starting in 25th, Alex Bowman starting in 33rd, and then also Keselowski and Berry with very popular plays. And that goes for both sides today. I think everyone's kind of building with the same, like, 5 to 8 drivers. You just kind of have to hope your combination's better than the others. Got it done it from a man spread. Appreciate that. It says, in for Blaney rocket ship. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, all signs would point to that being the case, but this is definitely a track where track history tends to be something I weigh a little bit. It does concern me that he hasn't exactly been great. Now, sometimes it's not his fault. He's had a couple of top 10 finishes. I forget if it was the fall race or the spring race last year, but I just remember him having an incident where he was 3 wide with Martin Truex Jr. and William Byron. Ends up ending, I think, 2 of their days. I'm pretty sure Byron was all right. But as you can see, the numbers don't stack up as great, but I'm willing to look past that. I'm here for speed. I try to play fast cars. And that's really all you can do. I mean, obviously there's a lot of dumb luck that can kill your day, but it's just stuff you can't control. As long as you're on fast cars, I mean, sure, the end result might not always be what you want. Like Xfinity for me yesterday, I was winning absolutely everything until 15 laps to go. And then Christopher Bell dies, Allgaier loses some spots. Anthony Alfredo gets wrecked. It was not a fun ending after that. But, you know, I'm not going to beat myself up over it. I was on the right guys. Just you can't control what happens at the end. Top 6 drivers to win the race. I believe I currently have it as William Byron, Kyle Larson. Let me pull it up here. So I have it as Byron, Larson, Hamlin, Reddick, Blaney. I'm assuming most people probably have it in some shape or form of that order. I don't know if it'd be the exact one, but those are the 5 best, I think, in Vegas odds currently. And I mean, if you run Sims or if you know somebody that does, I'm assuming they're probably going to be pretty similar off that. So Chris says Bell, Byron, Bowman, Larson, Stenhouse, Ty Dillon. Okay, I think that's a little definitely more on the GPP side of things, especially Ty Dillon and Stenhouse. I don't think most people are going to go there in cash games. Larson, Bowman, I do like quite a bit. I don't really think you need Bell. I think you could probably get rid of Bell and then go more balanced. Byron, I'm fine with. So I would keep Larson, Byron, Bowman. I would try to fit in a couple of these mid-range guys, maybe a Josh Berry, a Chastain, or Brad Keselowski. I don't think you'll be able to afford all of them, but I'd probably try to mix and match at least a couple of them in. Maybe even Eric Jones. I think that would probably be a better route for cash games. I think Bell, while I do have quite a bit of Bell today, I don't think he's an absolute must for cash games, trying to fit in all those drivers above $9,000. What's up, Mom? Hey there, NASCAR fam. Good luck, everyone. And let's go, Joey. Always got to get your Let's Go, Joey in. I'm okay on Joey today. It's not like I'm in love with it. I have 25% of him on FanDuel currently. I do have more Christopher Bell, even though he's more expensive. On DraftKings, it's a little bit easier because they're like the same price tag, but I still have a slight preference towards Christopher Bell there. What's up, Hunter? Quite an exciting F1 race. No, that was horrible. I stayed up to watch it with you, and it was putting me to sleep, for real. I was trying to write an article during it. I was fighting staying up because that race was horrible. What's up, Dropping Dimes? Says, hey, Chris. Thanks as always. No problem. Is Bubba cash game viable? No, I would not play Bubba in cash games. I like him in tournaments. He's been extremely quick this year. I think he'll be a top 10 contender, but there is so much downside Bubba Wallace starting in 5th for cash. Much rather would go with Ross Chastain. Much rather go with Alex Bowman. I'm going to pull up, I'm not going to show them on screen to give everything away, but looking at my floor projections for some of these mid-range drivers. So, for example, Keselowski, I have a floor projection of 16.2, 15.65 for Josh Berry. And then for Alex Bowman, I have a floor projection of 18.6. But if we look at Bubba Wallace, that is currently sitting at minus 0.31. So I would definitely rather chase the floor in cash games because their ceilings are honestly not too far off. And honestly, the ceilings on the place differential guys are even higher. So I would not play Bubba in cash games. No need for save that for the tournaments. What's up, Ryan? What's the chalk lineup? Well, I don't want to give the entire lineup away unless someone ends up bringing it up. But I do think most people are going to start with Kyle Larson, Alex Bowman, and then some combination of Berry, Keselowski, Chastain of some sort. That's what most people are going to start with today. I don't really want to go with SVG. He has been so bad this year. Like, just absolutely dreadful in that car. Even when he shows some speed in practice, it's just nothing ends up happening. I mean, we can look at the practice results. I'm on the Google sheet. I have this sorted by group. And I mean, he had some decent times there, but I'm not buying in. He had some decent times last week, and he was just absolutely dreadful. So, I mean, sure, if a bunch of guys wreck out and him starting 36, he finishes 28th, sure, but I don't think speed-wise he's going to get there. He'll probably be battling with Cody Ware, JJ Yeley, and Austin Hill, for being honest. Got a dono here from TJ. Appreciate that. Says, currently on Byron or Hamlin, Elliott, Chastain, Keselowski, Berry, and Haley for the 4-4-4. So if you're trying to get a little bit different, I think Hamlin's the tournament pivot off of William Byron. Obviously, Byron's in the easiest spot. to dominate, and he projects a little bit better. But I do like that pivot to Denny Hamlin just to get different. Because, I mean, Chastain will be chalky, Keselowski, Barry will be chalky. I mean, you do have some pivots with Elliott and Haley, but I do think Haley makes for a really interesting pivot there because, I mean, this is a track that sets up very well for him. You got to manage your tires, conserve them, and who's one of the best at that? That is Denny Hamlin, arguably maybe the best right now. Him or Kyle Larson, I would say. So, I don't mind the Hamlin pivot. Appreciate the dono. What's my projection on Denny and Tyler Reddick? DK Cash trying to fit them in. I don't think you need either in cash games today. It just feels like it's kind of forcing it. Because I mean, everyone's starting with Kyle Larson, and then I don't really think you need to go to Reddick or Hamlin. But projection-wise, I don't believe it's too far off. I have Denny like 6 points ahead of Tyler Reddick. There's just more Dom projection going in for Denny from me currently. Starts a little bit further up and What's up, Choke? If you were building any groups for DOMs or hybrids, can you tell me who? Thanks as always. It's just basically the guys you would expect. I mean, Larson's a potential DOM, Reddick, Hamlin, Byron, Blaney. I mean, you could even throw Bell in there, Briscoe, Bud Wallace I would throw in. I mean, it's pretty much the DOM group. I'd want at least 2 of those guys in my lineups today. And it's very easy to do. I mean, pricing is soft this week. 10-5 up top, 3 guys in the 10K range, and you can build whatever you want. Not hard. Tyler says, what's the deal with the insane odds hit on Bell? Yeah, is it 16? I mean, I don't really think it's that bad, to be honest. Let me see what I have it currently. So Vegas at 1600. I'm pretty much dead even with Vegas, so I mean, I guess I agree with them. I have them at fair odds at 1588. They have them at 1600, at least on DraftKings, so I think it's fair. I do think the favorites are clearly going to be Byron, Larson, Hamlin, Reddick, and then I think Blaney will be there as well. And then I would say there's a bit of a drop-off after that, so I can kind of agree. He hasn't exactly been amazing at the intermediates so far. Bowman top 10 at plus 220. Any value there? I'm going to guess no. Let me check. No, it wasn't as far off as I thought, though. I have him fair at 255. I'm curious where you're getting 220 at, though. DraftKings has minus 100. I don't have like an odds screen in front of me right now, but 220 seems like a pretty far off number. If DraftKings is at minus, not minus, just pretty much dead even, so I wouldn't fault you if you want to hit that. But I'm currently a little bit off. Mine are pretty conservative, though, always. What's up, Jim? What do I think about the Dinger today? I like the Dinger. Dinger had a rocket ship at home, relative rocket ship. I'm not talking Ryan Blaney level rocket ship, but at Homestead he was great, and then at Las Vegas he was also good. So my thought process is, why would that change too much here at Darlington? I don't think it will too much. Starting a little bit further back this time in 22nd, but I like him. He projects for over 4x value for me. I think he's a really strong 6K play. And most people in that range are probably going to Daniel Suarez. They're probably going to Eric Jones, especially. Well, Eric Jones is a little bit more expensive. I was thinking he was 6,500 or 7,500, but they're still in a similar price range. A lot of people are going to go that route. I don't mind him as a pivot at all. Whether it be DraftKings or FanDuel, I think he looks good on both. What's up, Bull? Good afternoon to you as well. What's the number of entries you could consider a cash game or tournament? It's not about the number of entries, it's the type of contest. So cash games, you're looking at 50-50s, head-to-head, double up, where if you finish 100th or if you finish first, there's no difference in payout. GPPs are going to be, I mean, GPPs can be smaller fields than cash games. It could be 30 people, but it's a sliding scale on the payout structure. So it wouldn't be entry number relevant, I guess. What's up, Avery? Thoughts on Austin Dillon today? Don't mind him. Didn't really pop up too much, though. But, I mean, I'll be honest. The cheap plays are just so bad today. Once you get past a certain point. Like, Austin Dillon starting in 23rd. Like, it's fine. Let me see what the optimal rate was. I mean, just under 10%. So, like, are you excited about it? No, but you get sprinkled in the player pool. Like, Cole Custer, Dylan, Haley. I mean, they're just the most mid plays ever, but there's no one down there that I really want to go all out on, so you're just mixing and matching down there. I would give Allmendinger the advantage. DJ says last 4 Darlington average 22 drivers finish in the lead lap. I mean, it all depends. Whether we get a bunch of yellows or if we get some wrecks or if it ends up going green and guys get lapped. No problem at all, Andy. What's up, Jay Swain? Appreciate the dono. Thoughts on Busher pivot off of Bowman, Brad K. Chalk? Yeah, Keselowski's going to be chalk. Bowman's definitely going to be chalky. Don't hate the Busher pivot. Is he going to project as well? No, of course not. And that's why he's not going to be as popular. But I'm currently still showing negative leverage on Busher just because it's really eating up to other drivers. Like I have AJ Allmendinger projected pretty similar to Chris Busher, and you can save over $1,000. So I'm having a bit harder of a time to get to Chris Busher too much. I don't think he's going to run poorly or anything. It's just when you're starting 14th and you pretty much projected to finish around there, there's just not a ton of upside. What's up, C-Mitch? Ovi. I don't know anything about hockey. The only thing I know about hockey is NHL 05 on the PS2, and the soundtrack was amazing, and that's all I know. But shout out to whoever it was if you guys like them. Am I getting to any Kyle Busch today? I am playing Kyle Busch on FanDuel. I don't really think he's that great of a DraftKings play on FanDuel. I think he can kind of hang around 10th today. It's okay at his price point, but I don't really have much interest on DraftKings. He's nearly, what, $9,000 over there? Yeah, he's almost 9K on DraftKings. I don't see him dominating at any point. Like, even if it hangs around 8th, I don't know if that's going to be enough to be optimal. Because let's just say, for example, Chastain's around 10th place. Well, he's definitely outscoring Kyle Busch. Bowman doesn't have to do much at all to outscore Kyle Busch. Elliott's $200 more. He starts further back, and I feel like I can trust the Hendrick car a little bit more. So tough to get there. But when you look at the FanDuel pricing difference, it's a lot different. Instead of being $200 cheaper than Elliott on DraftKings, he's like $2,300 cheaper on FanDuel. Big difference there. Is Byron a must in cash single entry? He's not a must. I think there's a lot of similar plays up there, but my preferred pairing up top in cash games would be Larson and Byron. They do project the best of the big dogs. But I don't think there's anybody you absolutely have to play. We're obviously going to get off sequence at some point. There's going to be some strategy. I'm sure we're probably going to get a caution that screws things up. So, I mean, while I do think he's the most likely driver to lead the most laps today, there's obviously a lot of things that can happen where maybe he gets shuffled out a little bit and has to scrape his way back to 6, and we'll see how many laps he leads. What do I think about Hocevar? He's starting in, 13th. Very fast in the short run in practice. I don't think he's going to be the best car in the field by any means. He'll probably hang around the top 15. But it's just one of those situations where if he was starting 20th, I'd like him more than Dinger. I'd like him more than Gregson. But when you're starting 13th, your upside's kind of capped, especially for a volatile driver. I mean, there's a lot of times where things just go poorly for Hocevar, even when he does have speed. So I personally feel more comfortable with Dinger. I feel more comfortable with Suarez, Gregson, in that range. This look better for cash, says Chris. Bowman, Byron, Larson, Suarez, Hill, Chastain. Yeah, I think that looks a bit better. It's more balanced, which I prefer. I like that more than there's like either 3 or 4 guys, 9K or above. Caleb says he likes Reddick, Bubba, Briscoe, and Busher today. Yeah, I can definitely understand the Reddick and Bubba love. Busher and Briscoe. A little bit tougher for DFS purposes. I do have a bet on Briscoe to finish top 3 at plus 450. So I didn't mind the qualifying effort. I'm not sure if he's actually going to hang in there, but it's only half a unit. Then we have Denny to finish top 3 at plus 220, which I do appreciate the qualifying effort from that. So we'll see. I didn't practice that great, but I always say with Denny, I'm not too concerned with his practice times because, he's a veteran driver, just feeling out the car. And he's just so good at managing his tires at tracks like this. We saw it at Homestead, where I'm not too concerned about practice times with Denny. I always said that with Harvick later in his career, where sometimes in practice it looked like he just had an absolute dumpster fire of a car, then he'd just be perfectly fine during the race. Dinner from Jim Parrish, appreciate that. Says, I'm playing 28 drivers today. Is that too many? Might be a bit much. I think my 20 max pool is a little bit lower than that. Trying to think, like I'm excluding Cody Ware. I want to exclude SVG. I mean, I wish Zane Smith and Todd Gillen qualified worse. I really do. I'd like to play them, but it's so tough starting in 12th and 16th. Probably crossing off Michael McDowell. I'm not going to cross off Hocevar completely, but almost want to on 13th. Ty Gibbs is fringe. Austin Cindric's also a really good candidate to cross off. So I'd say like around, I don't think you're too crazy at 28, but probably want to lower it a little bit just to get a tighter pool. Pick two of Gregson, Jones, Suarez, and Hocevar. No problem. So I want to say Jones and Suarez project the best. Let me double check, because I think it's going to be close on Suarez and Gregson. And I was right. It's only 0.5 off, but Suarez does have the slight edge on Gregson, so I would go Jones and Suarez for that. Yeah, DraftKings has Bowman at top 10 at 100. So if you can get 220, I mean, that's good line value for sure. I'm still just a little bit off the top 10 odds, but it's a big difference. If you can get about 2,000, I would show value on that slightly. What's up, Tizzle? Third week trying out NASCAR. Last week, most of the exposure went to the Dominators. I believe I had 70% of a specific driver. Is this very similar or more cherry picking from all the drivers? It's definitely a different style of track. I don't know if you actually watched the race or if you're just playing DFS. I totally understand if you don't watch. But last week was a super small track where track position's huge. Here, you can definitely make up positions. If you have a really good long run car, like I'm assuming Kyle Larson will have, when we get late into runs, when all these other guys are falling off really hard, he's going to ride that wall and he's going to look like he's just so much quicker than the rest of the field. That's just his bread and butter. So, while yes, he's a dominator, you just don't have to completely stack the front. Like Larson can dominate. Christopher Bell could dominate starting in 17th. Chastain could at 25th. So it's not completely similar to last week. Now, you still want the guys that can potentially lapse and win in your lineups, but it just it's not one or the other. It's very easy to do both. I don't know if I explained that well, but there's differences. I don't feel comfortable playing 70% of a driver on this slate, though, because I think Darlington would induce more chaos than a Martinsville race would most weeks. How many cars will be allowed? I don't know. I'd love to have that answer for you, but I'd be lying if I said I knew. It all depends on, is there going to be a bunch of yellows at the end where guys can get free passes, or is it going to go completely green and Larson's up front and he laps half the field? I don't know. It'd be a great thing to know, though, wouldn't it? I'm not sure, JFar. That's very interesting. Maybe if you could message me somewhere, we'll try to figure that out. I'm not exactly sure why that would happen. It's interesting, though. Hopefully it doesn't happen for other people. We'll try to figure that out, though. You think Suarez has a decent day? I could see it. I mean, he's actually had some speed intermediates this year, but some bad luck. Consecutive lap averages have him in around top 20 if we're looking at practice. Pretty much mid-pack in Group A. Did run, I believe, the most laps of any of the drivers, though, so I don't think he's going to be a 30th place car. He'll probably move up, but probably be around like a top 20-ish kind of guy, which is fine for his price point. He does pop in optimals quite a bit. Jose asks if I like Josh Berry. I love Josh Berry today. He's one of my favorite plays starting at 24th. He's the same price on DraftKings and FanDuel. He is in a lot of my lineups. It's a good track style for him. He's actually had some decent green flag speed numbers at these higher tire wear tracks. So I'm in on Josh Berry. I know he won the Vegas race. Was he the best car? No, but he was in position. He ran very well that day. I don't think he's the best car, but you don't need the best car. $1,700 and you got a lot of PD. We finally have Barry with place differential. I feel like he qualifies in the top 5 every week, and he's just unplayable at that point, but easy to fit him this week. Yes, I wouldn't play 70% of a driver personally. For me on this slate, I think there's just a Darlington stripe can ruin your day quickly. Can you sim the optimizer lineups? Well, you can sim it on the sim tool, if that's what you're asking. He just says, Chris, is this the track Chastain rode the wall at? No, that was at Martinsville last week. But that was amazing, though. But no, actually, I play Ross almost every single Darlington race, but I have some bad memories of it because he ruined, it was when he was starting, I think it was on a restart late in the race, front row with Kyle Larson. And one of them sent it in too deep and ruined both of their days. I was so heavy on both, and they were running 1-2. It was great. And they both ended up dying. And I'm pretty sure that was the race when Rick Hendrick made a phone call and says, you're killing all my Chevys. Favorite FanDuel plays? My highest one on FanDuel are Larson, Barry, Keselowski, Bowman. And then I'm just mixing and matching the rest after that. Stenhouse viable in GPP or cash? I would not play Stenhouse in cash games. I mean, if you're going to play him, I'd do it in GPPs, but he projects for less than 4x for me, less than 3.5x, which is kind of a borderline I like to see out of my cheaper plays. So I'm not really excited about Stenhouse today. I mean, you could definitely do worse. I mean, there's worse plays than Ricky Stenhouse, but he's not like, I'm not forcing him. If he's like your last fit, it's fine. Larson's going to win just because of his paint job? Maybe. I mean, that car is so good. I don't know if you guys have seen it yet, but it's like the Tony the Tiger, Frosted Flakes, Kellogg's car. It's amazing. Thoughts on Ty Dillon so I can get to Hamlin and Larson? I'm fine with it. Like, if you're going a really top-heavy build, trying to nail Dominators, you just kind of have to hope one of these guys finishes the races, which Ty Dillon actually has not been that bad this year. Does he project well for me? No, he does not. Starting in 29th because I have him projected to finish 30th. I can't have him projected to finish 19th. That's just not how this works. But if he can stay alive and finish 27th, he is pretty much free and you nail your DOMs, it's not going to matter too much what he does. Hello, Ryan from South Dakota. Appreciate that. Says thoughts on single entry cash FanDuel lineup. Byron, Larson, Chastain, Bowman, Eric Jones. I don't mind that. I am 2 off on my optimal there. So, I mean, it's very close, 3 out of 5. And I don't hate the Eric Jones or Byron play. I'm a little bit different personally. I went a little more place differential with the other expensive driver. But it's not bad. Darren wants to know, says, can I not play Larson in cash and go with Blaney, Byron, and place differential? I would recommend playing Larson in cash games. Even if something happens to Larson in cash, he should be high owned enough where it's not going to matter. And like, it reminds me of was it Vegas week where Blaney was starting dead last? Like, if you have Blaney in your X, it's not going to matter anyway because he's so high owned. But if you don't have him and he goes off, you're dead. So there's no risk to just playing the Blaney. So I would play Larson in cash. Because if he wins the race, which, I mean, he is the favorite to win this race, so you're probably not going to have a good time in cash games. Demetrius says, if I'm using a sim, should I lower the global max exposure or leave it the same? I would probably... Depends which one you're using. I don't know if you're talking about mine or somebody else's. It could behave differently. But I don't personally change the global max on a sim. Because you'd want the full allotment of potential lineups. What's up, Bobby? Who would you lean on top for a top 10 finish more? Brakaslowski at -110 or Briscoe at -105? I'd feel more comfortable with Briscoe in that scenario. He has a better track position, and at least we have seen some speed from Briscoe this year. Brakaslowski has not shown us any, so I feel more comfortable with Briscoe there. Last one on DraftKings: Priest, Gregson, Suarez, or Allmendinger. I think it's going to be a tight race between Dinger and Suarez there, projection-wise. And the answer would be Suarez barely, just by 2 points. Or 1.8, actually. I'll be honest, though. My heart wants to say Dinger on that. I think Dinger has some upside today. What's up, Cody? Says, how about the start of the season for Priest? Biggest surprise of the year so far for me. Thoughts on his chances to lead laps today, starting from second. Yeah, Priest has been awesome. He paid off very well last week, so that was nice. He's had a pretty good run. I mean, I thought he was dead last week. He sucked in the first, 60% of the race, and then at the end, he was just crushing it. In every single restart, it seemed like he gained 5 spots. So 2 more restarts, he might win this race. But yeah, Priest has been awesome in that 60 car. Him and Chris Buescher have definitely been a lot better than Brakaslowski over RFK. I do have him projected to lead some laps today. You kind of have to. When you're starting in the front row, you have to at least have some Dominator potential. I'm trying to see what I specifically gave him. Yeah, so for Priest today, I gave him almost 20 laps and some fast laps. He doesn't project that great, though. We're still talking sub 30 points, and he is below that 4x threshold. So I'm not a big fan of him in DFS today. There's just so much that can happen starting in second, where I have a hard time seeing him hold off Denny Hamlin, a Tyler Reddick, over the course of a long run if he does happen to be Byron out, which I don't think is going to be very easy to do because Byron had a really good car in practice and qualifying. So I'm not really interested in DFS. Praise Dale says, what do you do when 75% of the field are good plays? You got to take some stands. You can't get to everybody. I'm pretty much just overweight on Larson, Bowman, Berry, Keselowski. And then I'm just kind of mixing and matching. I tried to be overweight on AJ Allmendinger. Tried to be overweight on Bubba Wallace. And then I believe Ryan Blaney also. Ryan Blaney, Denny Hamlin. Other than that, they're even underweight. Because if you're playing a 20 max, you're really starting to sharpen your field up a little bit. 150 max, it's pretty easy to get to everybody you want. Obviously, give or take a few percentages. But on 20 max, I get a tighter core, and then you end up being a little bit lower on some other guys that look like good plays, but you just can't play everybody. Mr. Educational says, making one lineup in the big GPP, leave Larson out. I mean, it's an easy way to get different, but I really do like the Larson play today. I think I'd rather get different elsewhere. Maybe instead of playing Keselowski like everybody else, you play Bubba Wallace, or instead of Bowman, you play Bubba Wallace. Something like that. Larson just projects so well for me. What was up with Bowman's practice times and speed? Can pull him up here. I mean, he was pretty much mid-pack in Group A. I mean, just pretend John Hunter Nemechek doesn't exist. I mean, 14 laps it ain't doing it. It's not doing it justice here. So Bowen's pretty much mid-pack in Group A, which he's in a Hendrick car. Obviously had a bad qualifying lap, but I'm not really too concerned about that. If he finishes mid-pack today, you were very happy at that price point, starting position, everything. I wouldn't be too worried. Ricky Stenhouse Jr. for a top 10 at plus 1,400. I'm guessing no for me. Yeah, I'm almost at plus 3,000, so I would not hit that. At least I wouldn't. What's the deal with DraftKings switching the 3 max tournaments to 5 max? Yeah, I don't know. I saw a lot of people asking me about that today. I didn't even realize. Kind of weird. I don't know. FanDuel does 5 maxes a lot, so I don't know if they're adapting from them a little bit. I am not exactly sure, but it's kind of weird. I like 5 max personally. FanDuel has a really great baseball contest every day. It's a $12 5 max. That's really fun to just throw 5 lineups in. But other than that, I don't know. I know they changed the June bug. I'm assuming they changed the 20. Byron dominates a good amount of the race before falling off. Hamlin goes back-to-back W. I could see that being possible. I don't think a lot of people are going to play Byron and Hamlin together today, because there's just so much place differential to go with Byron. Then they'll throw in Kyle Larson, or they'll go Byron and then they'll go like the Bell Logano or Bell Elliott route, something like that. So that's a good way to get different. Let's see. Chris stuck on this. Barry Suarez or Jones Gregson for cash. I'm leaning the Barry Suarez. I would lean that way as well. Gregson just feels not so cashy for me. Meanwhile, Barry and Suarez, I think, are going to be pretty comfortable cash game plays today. I do need to check Bob's Twitter. Also, I need to make sure when lock is for those sites. I'm assuming FanDuel's at 3. DraftKings at 310. Yeah, FanDuel's going to be at 3. I wanted to see if their FanDuel's big contest was still open. I was going to throw a couple lineups in there, but it does not look like it is. They did open up a smaller 20 max, though. Only 793 people. Interesting. And now they also have... I've noticed this. Usually FanDuel doesn't seem like they open up new contests, but they have a new 20 max up. They have a $33, looks like a single entry. 36 people pays out 9. That's not bad. Pretty flat payout structure. So I'll be in there if anyone else wants to join. I'm going to throw a lineup in there. I'm glad I checked. What's up, Marilyn Manson? What's up, Marvin? I saw you earlier. I don't know if I got to you, but I just remembered the name was with them. I will do that. Appreciate you being here. How much Reddick? I'm currently sitting at 20% Reddick on FanDuel. On DraftKings, have him optimal on 25%. It's pretty similar. He's showing more optimal on FanDuel for me. He's another guy where I want to be overweight in GPPs, but Larson's eating it up. It says Joey Logano at plus 2000 sounds like a number you can plug in. So I bet Joey earlier in the week. It was just a sprinkle, 0.2 units at plus 2200, and I kind of wish I just didn't do that now. I have him fair at 30-30 plus 30-30. So I mean, it's not too far off 2000, but I'm not in love with it. Thing with Joey is, though, I mean, he's one of those guys where he can suck all race and then something happens strategy wise and he completely nails it, and then he's running second. You're like, where the heck did Joey come from? So if Joey wins today, I think it's off something strategy-wise. That's the only way I can see it happening. Appreciate you, Santana. Always seeing you here. The Bull says, obviously someone doesn't listen to my statement on Blaney. When? Not sure what you mean. You gave me the dots. Blaney Herbst or Hamlin Ty Dillon? Oh gosh. I'm pretty sure Blaney and Herbst projects better. No, actually Denny and Ty projects better. By like a couple points. I listened to it, Bull. I'm not sure what you mean. Yeah, the contests do feel very quick on Sunday mornings for NASCAR. Like, it'll look the day before like, well, half the lobby ain't playing, but then it fills up pretty quick. Tornan Keselowski versus Eric Jones for DraftKings GPP. I mean, if you got the money, I'd rather go with Keselowski. He projects better for me. All right, let me scroll up a little bit. I missed a few things. Who's the lowest price driver I'd go on DraftKings? Honestly, I mean, you can play JJ Yeley today. I don't think it'd be the craziest thing in the world. Does anyone want to play JJ Yeley? No. Is he slow? Absolutely. Very, very slow. As long as he doesn't die early on. I mean, his car sucks. But I got him projected for 17 points. And that's not based off of speed. I just always include variance when I run sims. And of course, there's going to be some cars that just happen to wreck out. Like, I'm sure one of these drivers will wreck. I don't know who, but I'm sure one of them will. And when they do, well, that's spots for the slowness of JJ Yaley. So I think you can go all the way down. I mean, he fits you pretty much anything you want. But if he can scrape away 15 points, it can work out. Stenhouse Larson or Blenny Jones for cash games. I'm gonna have to go the Larson route, but man, I really don't like Stenhouse that much. But I'd have to go Larson route. Oh yes, he says 48. Bowman, yeah, Bowman's awesome. Bowman's gonna be very chalky today, but he projects great. Good luck to you as well, Bob. So King Watt's going 60% on Barry exposure. I mean, if you like Barry today, that's one way to get double the field, because I'm assuming he's going to be around 30% ownership. So I mean, if you really like him, you're going to have to seriously go pretty high. Hello, Miss Jules. Hopefully you're enjoying the hammock, although I think I just heard you walk in. Appreciate you being here, though. Always a good time on Sundays, and yeah, happy race day. Yeah, Byron's totally fine in cash games. If you want to make him your pairing with Kyle Larson, I have no issues with that. Unders, just you got to understand the downsides of the pole sitter, but I mean Byron heading into the weekend is one of the guys that I was considering one of the favorites to win this race. So I mean, he's definitely one of the better drivers to have that to be sitting on the pole. And he was fast at Vegas. Just I forget which race he had the speeding or whatever the issue was where he had to go to the rear. I can't remember if that was Homestead or Vegas. Hello, CJ from Hawaii. Nice of you to be here. Sorry, Hunter. I forgot the Florida hat. I should have put something on. Oh, big win last night though. That game was good. Both college games were good last night. I don't even really like college basketball, but I know Houston had a nice comeback. They're down 6, I think, with 30 seconds left. And he says he can't get off Wallace. I mean, so I wish he was starting a little bit further. If Bubba was starting 9th, that'd feel so much better. Starting in 5th is scary, but I do think he's still one of the stronger tournament plays because he can hang it in the top 5 the entire day. He has shown that multiple times this year. The speed has been there all season. I don't really think it's going to go away. It's just the consistency of that team can always be a bit scary. But when things go perfect for Bubba, I mean, he runs really well. What's up, Obi? What's up, Ernest? Says, do you think Byron can actually dominate today? He's a great racer, but I feel like something usually happens or Rudy uses a different strategy. He just get to really show what he's got. I mean, I definitely think he can dominate. I have him as the top lap leader for the day, but man, it's just so scary rostering pole sitters, but he projects well. And Byron's not a weird pole sitter. Like he is, I show the visual every preview video, and he's in the very top right. I mean, the best average running position here at Darlington, and right up there with the best average driver rating. In the 6 races we've had in the next gen era here, like he's been very, very good at Darlington. So it's not surprising to see him put it on the pole, and he would be one of the guys I would expect to be a contender even before we saw practice and qualifying, and he looked like he had the best car in Group B, and then he throws it on the pole, so. And he should be good. Hello, Bonnie. Happy race day. Good luck, everyone. Large field single entry, Bowman and Kess, or Ross and Barry? Bowman and Keselowski are going to project the best of that too. Probably a little bit chalkier, but just projection-wise, that's what it is. What's up, Stumps? It's a mostly fading Blaney. He's not good at Darlington. That is true, but man, the speed has been there this year, and it's kind of scary to fade speed like that. But I do understand the concerns about about track history. Elena, happy race day. Let's go Larson, even though we started 19th. Yeah, but that makes him a fun DFS play, though, starting mid-pack. We're going to actually get to see him hopefully rip to the field in long runs. And I think by the end of stage 1, beginning of stage 2, we'll see Larson being a threat. And since we're at a high tower track, I always tell you guys, I love watching the lap times on the program I have on the computer, and it's just so fun to watch where everybody else is falling off, and then you'll see Larson when he's mid-pack, or if something happens to him and he's got to work his way through the field, you'll just see bright green for him having the fastest lap, just ripping the wall. What's up, Chad? Any hope of Priest stealing the lead early and snagging some? He could. I mean, I gave him roughly around 20 laps led, just because, I can't have it being where there's a 100% success rate for William Byron to lead the yearly laps. Just somehow the world works. But either way, even giving him those 20 laps, he's going to most likely fade back a bit. Makes him a pretty tough DFS play. What's up, Alex? Happy race day. Who's your GK cash core? Yeah, Larson, Bowman, and then Ross Chastain are kind of my starting points for cash today. If you wanted to swap out Chastain for Josh Berry or Brad Keselowski, be my guest. They're all fantastic mid-range plays. Larson Byron or Larson Hamlin. If it's cash games, I would say Larson Byron. If it's GPPs, I would go Larson Hamlin. Assuming Hamlin will be lower owned than William Byron. Think we see any speed out of Suarez? Seems like a solid floor. The floor is fine. I'm not sure how much speed we're going to see, but I think he'll be a fringe top 20 car. But nothing crazy. Blaney Logano is a top stack. There's really no stacks in NASCAR. But I don't think they're the top stack either, though. Unless you're trying to stack teams, but I don't necessarily really try to do that. All right, let me make sure Bob said no one's going to the rear. I wouldn't care unless it's somebody up front. And 5 minutes ago, no cars to the rear after morning checks. So, sweet. Nothing to worry about. Bull says, you talking good about Bubba? Hey, he's been really good this year, Bull. Very impressed with that 23 team. Obviously, early in the year, we were playing him, and the speed was there. He wrecked at Phoenix at the very end. And then, was it Vegas when he got caught up in the Ryan Blaney wreck? Pretty sure. But he's ran well, every single week. He won the dual race. He was actually running well with the road course, and then he had a course penalty and kind of killed it. But, he's been really good this year. Keselowski or Ross / driver for GPP on DraftKings. I think both will be pretty chalky, so I'm not going to worry about the ownership there. Chastain projects a few points higher. I am not playing any McDowell today, Kevin. It's mainly just a starting position thing. I think the scenario for him to be in the optimal is pretty low and unlikely. Appreciate the dono, Clint. One of my favorites. Hit the like button. Best Discord community out there. How we feel about Dinger. Thanks, Chris. I love Dinger. I am going to be overweight on him in GPPs today. I'm even playing him over on FanDuel. I don't usually try to track down too low on FanDuel, but I do think he's pretty interesting over there because we have legit top 15 potential out of him. He's shown it at the intermediates this year, so I think Dinger's a pretty good play across the board. And appreciate that, Clint. Slim Brody says, seems like everyone's on Byron or Hamlin. Reddick might be at the play. Yeah, in the article I wrote up Denny Hamlin or Tyler Reddick as the pivot off of either William Byron or Kyle Larson, whoever you want to take out from that popular pairing. So I'm fine with either there. But Reddick, he's a great rim rider, and that's what you should typically want to do here at Darlington. So I don't hate that. I'm not sure the ownership's going to be insanely different on Hamlin or Reddick. I currently have Hamlin slightly higher owned, but it could be very interchangeable. Timothy says he's 136% McDowell. Is that too much for cash? You might be a little bit too low, to be honest. Brad or Alex. Alex projects better than Brad. There's no Ty Dillon love, but there's more of an understanding if you get down that low. I guess that's the best way to put it. If you're just trying to fit in your DOMs, like if Ty Dillon fits, he's been pretty good at just finishing well this year, not having many issues. You don't hear his name too often. So it's more of an understanding. Suck says, do you do any sort of stream during the race, like playback? Would be cool to hear your insight while watching. No, I don't do any of that. I just kind of like to sit and watch lap times, really. I mean, I'm in Discord the entire race, but that's bad. That's enough. This is enough camera time for me, I think, for an entire day. But that would be cool, though. I know some people do that. I know some of the stochastic people, I believe, do that for NBA and stuff. But no, I pretty much just chill in Discord and watch everybody tilt the race after 20 laps, like the race is over. What's up, Adam? I've missed the stream, but could you just give me your thoughts on Ricky? A lot of Ricky questions today. I don't. Maybe he's gonna be more popular than I thought. I got him projected for like 22 points. It's 3.3x. Is it the worst thing in the world? No, I got him projected to finish on 25th. I mean, he's just one of those guys down there. He looks like the same as Austin Dillon. He looks the same as Justin Haley. Pretty similar to Cole Custer. Like, they all just project around 21 points. Not too much else is differentiating them. Yeah, it would be fun, though. Would be fun. But yeah, I'm more of a... I don't mind typing. Talking for that long seems like it would make me tired. What do I think about Briscoe? Briscoe's a tough DFS play for me today. If he was starting a little bit further back, I'd be more interested. The 19 cars obviously had some pretty good runs here at Darlington, and Briscoe did win the most recent race here. Was he the best car? No, but had a fantastic late restart. Kyle Larson absolutely dominated that race. But just, he's tough. Really tough. And I don't even think I'm playing him. Maybe 5-10% on FanDuel. DraftKings, there's at least some potential Dominator upside, but I do think it's lower than others up top. Bull says, if you're in Discord, you would think Kyle Larson physically. Yeah, I mean, the first 10 laps, everyone's lineups are dead. Everyone's dead. Everyone lost all their money. 36 drivers throughout the entire race have been killed off, and you would think Cody Ware's winning. I mean, a bunch of animals. Got to be patient and let things play out. Thoughts on Larson, Bell, Bowman, Berry, Allmendinger, and Swart? That looks like a really good lineup. I like that. I mean, it's all PD, but it can work out if none of the other Dominators completely take over the race. Like, let's just say Byron leads 20 laps but fades to 7th. Hamlin doesn't do enough. I mean, it can work out, but you need to absolutely have Larson or Bell get up front at some point to get some Dominer points, because if that does not happen, someone's dominating and they're not scoring the other. Yeah, let's do it, Justin. Tizzle says there's top 6 exposures are Larson, Berry, Bowen, Byron, Wallace, Dinger. Does that seem good? Yeah, I don't mind that. I mean, Bubba, as a top 6 exposure, I mean, it's a little much. I do like him in GPPs, but I don't know if I like him as a top 6 guy. But if you're really trying to be overweight, I get it. But I do like all those drivers. And Larson, Berry, Bowman, and Byron, I can definitely understand. Kyle says, trying your all access. Where do I get to all the goods? And thanks for the great content. Just started to play NASCAR. Oh, appreciate that, Kyle. There should be a post on Patreon that has, it's called Darlington Model, NASCAR Darlington Model, something like that. There's a Google Drive in there. You click on that, and it has it has Xfinity, but that's useless now. It has a cup on there that has all the links for optimizers, some tools, and all that good stuff. So some people don't realize there's like a picture of a Google Drive. You gotta click that. Then it opens it up. As long as you're signed in on Google, it opens a Google Sheet. If you're not, I think it has like some weird preview thing, which I tried and it looks a little funky. What's up, Rick? Is Keselowski going to break out of his funk today and get a top 10? I hope so. I have a lot of Keselowski, so I'm banking on that. But let's hope so. Oh, no, I watched that bull. What's up, Mark? Chris, cash games, DraftKings, Barry, Bowman, Chastain, Keselowski, Larson, and Suarez. I think that can work. Obviously, you don't have a guy up front, but I think all of those guys could be somewhat contenders. I don't really think Suarez would be a contender, but I like that. It's a very safe floor lineup for sure. What's up, Maurice? Real talk, is it smart for GPs to fade Kyle Larson? I really like Larson today, so I don't really think I want to fade him. Personally, I know he's going to be chalky, but having a hard time fading Larson. I'm not saying play 100% of him, but he's my ISO driver. What's up, Stampede? Hope you did as well. You have a lot of Keselowski this week? Yeah, I have a lot of Keselowski, like over 40%. In 3 max, would you rather play Larson or Byron all 3 lines? I'd rather play Larson because Larson gives me a bit of a floor, just in case something happens. Like Larson's floor I have projected for 28.14, Byron I have at 14.3. And their ceilings are actually pretty much the exact same. So when I can get a bit of a floor difference with Larson, that makes me feel a lot better. No problem at all, Dustin. What's up? Who are my 2 fades, 2 favorites, and 2 underdogs today? My 2 favorites are going to be Kyle Larson and I guess Alex Bowman. Just if you mean favorite DFS plays. My 2 fades, probably not playing Cindric. I know that's easy to say. I'm probably not playing. I think I'm going to have 0 of Austin Cindric, Michael McDowell. I will not be playing John Hunter Nemechek. Like absolutely 0%. Other than that, I got sprinkles of guys. Then if we want to count about Wallace as an underdog, I do like him. $8,500. Yeah, Priest will definitely be strong on any short track. Great style of track for him, and he's just been good this year. I definitely like seeing him in that 60 car. The easiest one to pivot from, Dustin, is probably William Byron because there's other just potential early dominators. Easier to pivot off of him than Kyle Larson, I think, in my opinion. What's up, Team Penske fan? What's up, Chris? Thanks for all your live streams and videos. I use them in NASCAR Fantasy. And I'm 4th and 100%. That's awesome. Keep it up. If you had to choose a top 5 today, what would it be for today finish-wise? It might not be the exact order, but I know it's a combination of William Byron, Kyle Larson, Denny Hamlin, Tyler Reddick, and Ryan Blaney. It might be in order. Pretty sure. Sean says Christopher Bell is 24-1 on FanDuel. Yeah, that definitely shows value. I believe I'm fair at nearly 1,600. So yeah, 2,400. It's a pretty good number over on FanDuel. Appreciate you, Maurice. Thank you for being here. Let's see. Keselowski has been so unlucky, mixed with mediocre driving. I haven't been heavy on him. I think it's mainly just been mediocre driving, to be honest. I think he got trapped a lap down last week, but he was really bad. But it looks better than he has, at least this week. He showed a lot of speed in Group A. So there's some hope. Larson or Byron, I would prefer Kyle Larson. Yeah, that's the thing. Like a track like this, especially, you can't get too concerned about how your drivers look early on because, you want the guys with long run speed and that'll end up evening out, balancing out by the end of the race. I'm sure some guys are going to fire off great, but it's really going to depend on who's good when we get deep into a run. What's the ownership look like on Blaney? I think he probably comes in around 20-25% today. Somewhere around there. Shut up, Sean. Yeah, Sean's my worst tilter. Wins all the money in the world and then always tries to troll me. Thoughts on Eric Jones today? He's a very safe floor play today. He's very good at Darlington. He's won here in the next gen. I mean, do I expect him to win today? Absolutely not. I'd be happy with a top 20 performance somewhere around there. But I wish he was a little bit cheaper, but I do like him still. What's up, John? Barry or Keselowski, last spot for GPPs. It's very, very close in projections. I have Keselowski for 0.8 higher. I also have the ownership pretty similar. I would say flip a coin. Josh Berry, he's been faster this year. He's shown at least a little bit more consistency. And he starts 4 spots further back. I mean, if you want to go the Berry route, I get it. Get a little bit more floor. Aloha Astro, 6,800 or lower on DraftKings. Thank you. Let me check. 6,800 or lower. I think, isn't Dinger 6,800? We're just 6,900. Yeah, we're just missing him. So I would go right with Suarez there. I never like saying Suarez, but I think he'd be the obvious one. What percentage is there that a wreck or caution happened in stage 1? I'm not sure. I'll have to end up seeing. I hope there's not one. I want every race to be boring as possible. When races are boring, I tend to do very, very well because things are happening that should happen. When they're not boring and there's stuff that people enjoy, like chaos races, I tend to not do great because all my guys end up dying. I'm not getting the Ty Gibbs personally. I think in my 20 max, he showed up 5-10%. That's it. And that was just because I didn't force him. He sprinkled in. But I definitely didn't play him in a single entry, cash games, 3 max, anything like that. Which Dylan? I mean, if money's on an issue, I'd rather play Austin. Bowman, I mean, the thoughts on Bowman are fantastic. I mean, he's the chalk for a reason. He starts in 33rd. He's a Hendrick car. He's cheap. He's been good this year. Like Bowman's been a legit top 5 guy. I don't know if we're going to get top 5 out of him today, but he's been pretty consistently top 15. No problem at all, Penske. I hope you do fantastic today. Hate to say this, but I was reading that Kyle Busch could be a long shot play today. Thoughts? I think Kyle Busch is a good FanDuel play. Just because he's so much cheaper. Like, for $200 more, I can play Chase Elliott. For $200 cheaper, I can play Chastain. But for almost $2,500 cheaper from Elliott, I can play Kyle Busch on FanDuel. Like, he makes a lot more sense over there. Appreciate you, Dace of a man, whatever it is. Yeah, Ty Gibbs has been down in the dumps this year, that's for sure. No, yeah, true. When things aren't going right and the wrong guys are dominating, I'm definitely here for carnage. But then it feels like it doesn't happen. And then when I need it to be boring and green at the end, then they all try to kill each other. What's up, Timothy? Your 1 to 2 favorite flag plants, cash dudes? Oh, yeah, Kyle Larson, Alex Bowman. I mean, if you're going to go heavy on any drivers today, those are the absolutely easiest ones to do it. I agree. Kill each other at Daytona. Just keep it simple. If you suck, don't try to kill someone here. Just take your 26 and move on to next week. It's always the idiots in the back that are trying to kill each other for 24th place. Elliott or Wallace on DraftKings? Chase projects better. Does Siva man? Okay, I gotcha. That's a little bit easier. Sean hit Dinger 8-1, top 10, 365, and Denny Blaney. And 2 of the fakest books. I don't get those ones, unfortunately. But I do like those. I mean, I like Chastain and Cash for sure, if you can get to him. Absolutely. All right, I think lock is going to be pretty soon, so I'm probably going to have to hop out of here. We went for over an hour. So I don't even know. Where are we at next week? I want to say it's Bristol, but I don't know if that sounds right or not. Yeah, we're at Bristol next week, so that's actually going to be awesome. You guys know I love Bristol, so I'm looking forward to that one. Last spring race was incredible because of all the tires dying, and the fall race was horrible, so we'll see what ends up happening. But appreciate y'all being here. Looking forward to Bristol next week. If you want to check out all the extra content, hit the pinned link, and if you're a new user, you can get it completely free. Come in, hang out. Should be a fun race, hopefully, and hopefully our guys don't die. Other than that, I think we'll be on the fast ones. Just hopefully all our